Hello everyone, welcome back to another stream on Fancy Football Scout. Today, as usual, I am joined by an FPL enthusiast, Gianni Battici, but not just an FPL enthusiast, he's recently upgraded to an expert on BBC Sport. Gianni, how are we keeping?
Oh, no. I was just about to thank you for referring to me as an enthusiast because that's the term I like to use, or panelist. I quite like panelist. But yeah, it does appear. I mean, I think Scout did the same. I think Scout probably referred to you and I as experts. And it is a bit of a marketing term, isn't it? Like BBC, Premier League, Sky Sports all refer to their pundits as experts, which whatever. I would argue that in a game that's 70% luck, it's really difficult for anyone to be an expert. There might be a few. I'm certainly not one of them. But look, we'll take it and we'll just let channels call us what they want if they're paying for us. So yeah, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you.
I'm all good, Gianni. Not a great week by any means this week, game week 31. Of course, we'll look at game week 32, double game week 32, which I'm sure we're all excited about. Do us a favour, as usual, let us know how the audio is because, as usual, we always have issues. So if you could let us know. But yeah, Johnny, I'm good and excited for game week 32. I know a lot of people had hit that wildcard button, and I'm sure we're all looking forward to how the double is going to go.
Yeah, man. I haven't hit the wildcard button in 30 or 31, but I said to you a couple of weeks ago that my plan was always to have a very differential chip strategy. I think the optimal chip strategy is the one that you and 90% of people watching is on, which was wildcard 30 or wildcard 31. And the team does feel very template and safe. So I'm excited to see your team because I've not seen it since you've wildcarded. And I know from all the content creators teams I've seen, yours will be the one. And from the Scout network and the experts Scout have, 90% of their teams will be very similar, and yours will be similar. Of course, it will be, but you will have, I know, a couple of differentials in there, no doubt of which players I like. So I'm excited to see your wildcard and see how you're getting on, and to talk about your last few weeks. But I guess before we do that, many watching this will be watching or listening on, say, Monday morning, but we are recording just off the back of the full times. And I'm delighted to tell you, mate, in the last couple of seconds, Spurs have scored. So it's 3-1 Tottenham final result. And sank blanks for Salah and Palmer. So we've seen Palmer blank, Salah blank. So I guess we should just give a nod to game week 31 and captaincy, because so many in the chat listening and you and I have both captained Isak. And I feel like everyone watching, listening to this will be watching and listening before Monday night. So how are we feeling about Isak? I mean, we're both hopefully starts, but he's unlikely to cameo, isn't he? He either starts or he doesn't feature at all. So we really need a start because we don't want, I'm guessing you vice captain Salah.
Where to start? I suppose you're right about me going a bit different on wildcard. That's the first thing, and the second thing is there is no Salah, so the voice captaincy armband is definitely not on him. Yeah, it's interesting because I think a lot of people would have banked on Salah this week on captaincy. His EO was really high. I think it was around 160%. Isak around 125% around my rank, and I of course captained Isak as well. I would say I completely agree with what you said about Isak. He either starts or he doesn't get brought on because, I mean, there's no reason for him to do it, to be brought on. And that's why I put the captaincy armband on someone really reliable like Dominic Solanke for vice captain. So hopefully,
oh my god!
So hopefully Isak does play. Because if he doesn't, I guess I'm in trouble. But at least Salah's after blanking, so it lessens the blow. But yeah, on that note, Johnny, let me quickly pull up some of the fixtures for this week before I get into my points. In front of you, I've just got some of the games that have happened in game week 31 so far. Maybe we might discuss a small bit, Johnny, before we look at my own team and then look forward to game week 32. How has this game week been for yourself?
All right, I think so far. Like, I mean, I guess I'm always down on. Well, not down. I always have to compare myself to those that are on wildcard and what they did. And the template wildcard teams had double Arsenal defence. So I don't have any Arsenal defender. I've not had an Arsenal defender since game week 20. So I'm delighted every time they concede. And actually, since game week 20, like I went Manoz over Gabriel, so much better. So I'm fairly happy there. And my actual team this week in terms of points, it's fine. Like I got the three Palace players, including Mateta and Manoz. I didn't have Eze, and I'm hopeful on Marmoush. I've got triple Newcastle to play. So yeah, fine. I'd Pickford in goal for 3 points, meh. But yeah, an okay game week.
Yeah, mine has been maybe average a small bit below average before the City guys play. Johnny, chat is wondering, where are you currently situated? They're saying the background is lovely. In my own background, I'm in my room in Ireland, and I've got a painting from Italy, but it's not as nice as Johnny's background. So, Johnny, where are you?
I love that. I'm in Tuscany and I'm here for 3 months. So yeah, it's awesome. I've got an Airbnb for 3 months with my wife and daughter, and yeah, we're getting used to the slower pace of life for a little bit. So I'm buzzing about that. And I'll be doing slightly less content, like on my channel. Like this morning, I didn't do a Sunday debrief video as I usually would. I didn't do a deadline stream yesterday, as I sometimes might. So yeah, it's nice. I'll be back full force next season, but for the remainder of the season, I'm sort of coasting, which is nice, and probably coasting in my FPL team as well. I hope I'm not. I'm still taking that very seriously. I tell you what, mate, I had Rodgers on the bench for 9 points. And in the week, I benched him for 11 points. So I feel like I've missed out on 20 Rodgers points in the last 4 days. So I'm a bit gutted about that.
Yeah, Rodgers has been a nightmare for me this season, and I just got rid of him on Wildcard, which was silly.
Did you?
It was last minute as well. We'll get into that just in a second. But what you're saying about taking a break from FPL but still taking it serious, I agree. I've been fairly busy this season myself with being in the final year of college and of course moving houses. But yeah, still enjoyable. I also got rid of Leandro Trossard, who did score after blanking for 6 weeks in a row, which was quite hurtful, but that's FPL for you, and that's why we love playing it. So, Johnny, let me quickly pull up my team that I wildcarded in for Game Week 31, and I'll quickly run through you why I chose some of these players. And you're right, it is a small bit different. So, like you said, a lot of people on Wildcard went with double Arsenal defence, and I was one of them. Raya and Saliba coming in for me. I mean, I don't regret the decision at all, and I think going forward with the double in Game Week 33, more than happy to own them.
Agreed.
Yeah, 100%.
You're well set. You're well set moving forward. Like if I was on Wildcard, I would have gone double Arsenal defence. Of course I would have.
Exactly. So I've got Dan Burn with Leicester away to play. For me, it was a decision between Dan Burn or Livermento. I wanted to save that 0.1 because I'm stingy and my team value isn't as good as it could be. By the way, for those watching that don't know, my rank is currently at 185k, I believe. I still have my triple captain, bench boost, and free it, so that might give a bit of context on where this team is going. Of course, Daniel Munoz did come up with another goal. Massive Gianni. He's one that we've been ranting and raving about, and it's good to see him come in with some points after us hyping him in for so long.
Mate, he's been so good. I bought him in Game Week 20, and I've done a lot wrong this season, but one thing I got right was not being scared to back against the Arsenal defence. So I went without Arsenal, as I mentioned earlier, I went without the Arsenal defenders and sold Gabriel to Munoz. Munoz has outscored Gabriel by like double, maybe even more in that time. And that's not including yesterday's game where Gabriel wasn't even included or available. So yeah, Munoz has been amazing. He's such a good attacking outlet. He's the most attacking defender in the game. His defending's Palace are all right at defending, like they'll keep some clean sheets, but he will get attacking returns, and when he does, he'll always feature in the bonus. Mate, I can't see your bench. I can see there's a Palace player in there. Just show us what that bench looks like, because I'm interested to know who your third Palace is, because I can see you went with Eze, so fair play there. Was it Sarr or Mateta on the bench?
Yeah, so I guess that was the first mistake, but I'm not going to jump the gun too quick. I went with Sarr. I had a Mateta in it originally, and as you can see, I happened to put in Dominic Solanke instead of Mateta because I wanted to save some money on the likes of Sarr, who could turn out well going forward, but maybe Solanke was a poor move. I just thought this Southampton game had goals, and to be fair, I wasn't wrong. Solanke wasn't contributing to any of them. Before we move on to the forwards, Johnny, let's go through the midfield. 4 in the middle, no Salah, like I said. Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon, Saka, and Eze. Originally, I had Rodgers instead of Gordon. I decided with 1 minute left on the timer during the deadline stream to bring in Anthony Gordon.
Love it. I love that call, mate. Like that was my big decision this week was, do I go Livramento or Gordon? I was bringing in one of them, and I ended up going Livramento, but I was 50-50 on it. I don't think Gordon starts on Monday, though. Do you?
Looks like my camera has turned off. Give me 2 seconds. I don't think he starts, but that's why I have a strong bench, because I really don't mind chancing him, to be honest.
Yeah, and for the double, you'd expect him to start both games in 32, and he is a proper good differential for Game Week 32. Like I genuinely was, honestly, I was 51-49 this week on buying Gordon or not. So yeah, fair play. When you're sorting your camera out, mate, FPL Mackham in the chat, who's in our what?
Technical difficulties. I don't know what's going on. We're back. My webcam is back. I don't know if you can still hear Gianni. Gianni, you there? Can you hear me, Gianni?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, sweet. We're back. Sorry about that. Yeah, Decoy Dom. I mean, Spurs are just in a tough place. 16th place before the Southampton game. I don't even know what to say. All eyes will be on Europa League. I can understand the Ange shouts. For me, stand firmly on holding on to him till at least the end of the season. Let's see what happens.
Mate, it is worth noting that Spurs got a penalty in the 95th minute or whenever it was, and Solanke was subbed on the 87th for Tell. Tell then comes on and takes that penalty and scores it. That very easily could have been a Solanke pen. So, yeah, I guess in a way you're unfortunate there because, you know, Solanke would have taken the pen because Son came off at 57.
Man, that is gut wrench. I didn't need to know that. It just keeps getting worse. But yeah, on that note, let me run you through the three forwards: Solanke, Marmoush, Isak. Captaincy was easy for me on Isak because I had no Salah, and put the vice captaincy on Solanke, which obviously didn't work out if Isak doesn't feature. But I'm sure Isak will feature. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't. If he doesn't, I have Sarr off the bench with a 2-pointer. But also on the bench we've got Ederson, Sarr, Diaz and Konsa. That sets me up really nicely for a bench boost that I have to make a decision with in game week 32 or game week 33. And when you see my game week 32 team, you'll understand why I have a decision to make. But Gianni, what do you think of the team, even though it's not doing so well this game week?
Yeah, man, I like it. Like, I didn't expect you to go with that. With 15 players that were all part of the template, and I think you still covered all the main bases. The big one, I guess, you don't have is Mateta, but I saw a few big names like going against Mateta, and going for someone like an Evan Nilsson obviously paid off. Mateta's the one that I guess can hurt you a lot in 32, but you expect if Mateta scores a goal that Sarr and Eze are involved. So the fact you've got the 6 in place for Palace and Newcastle, you're well set for 33 as well. I like it. Like, I think Gordon's going to be a really nice differential for you in 32. And look, maybe out of nowhere, Solanke does bang. And if he doesn't, you can ditch him and maybe have a little bit of fun with like if he's fit and available or fit and looking sharp, Ollie Watkins for game week 33, for example. I guess Watkins is a bit of an issue at the moment. He's clearly managing something. And at the moment, he's not playing well and getting subbed. And Rashford could become the number 9 starter for the next few games. So Aston Villa for good double game week 33 are a little bit of a funny one. And the likes of Morgan Rogers, probably. Rogers feels like the only nailed attacker to start 2 games. But even Rogers won't start 31 against Southampton because the PSG game is Wednesday, Tuesday turnaround. So you expect they'll have mass rotation for the Premier League game against Southampton. But yeah, diverting away, I think Marmoush is going to get us big points in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Marmoush has been outstanding, to be honest, and delighted to own him. Keep him on Wildcard. Again, he's a nice double coming up. I believe City also have a double coming up in game week 36. People potentially
if they win their FA Cup semi-final, I think if that's what it comes down to. If they've got to win their FA Cup semi, and then they'll likely double in 36. If they lose their semi, they won't double in 36.
And a lot of people with triple captain left will potentially be looking to put him on there. So I think he's definitely really exciting. Again, Haaland looking like he's going to be out. So yeah, Marmoush definitely one to hold on to. Gianni, any love again for any of the City midfielders?
I mean, I'd love to tell you that Foden and De Bruyne or Foden is a great pick, but you just can never predict Pep. Like today, he's gone without the 3 attackers that all did really well against Leicester. But I guess it's just a case of managing minutes and giving everyone a chance. But he played Savio, Doku and Grealish against Leicester, and they were 3 of City's best players. Now, it was only Leicester, but the 3 of them were amazing. Grealish played 10, Doku has been playing well wide left, and Savio was City's best player wide right, along with Marmoush, I guess. And the 3 of them all dropped today. Bernardo, De Bruyne, Foden comes in what looks like a very different lineup without out-and-out wingers. So it changes week to week with Pep. We know that. And I would just say that even if Foden plays really well today and gets loads of points, it doesn't mean he's nailed for the next game. And I think you can say the same about Doku, the same about Savio, the same about De Bruyne. So I just steer clear of all of them, to be honest. And that's coming from me, who everyone knows that I'm chair of the Phil Foden fan club. But I tend to only pick Foden when I know he's nailed. And I rarely get stung there because you can predict when Foden is nailed. And he does go through periods where he's completely flavour of the month and Pep plays him, like last season. But at the moment, he's far from that.
Yeah, I would agree, and interesting to see about KDB going out the gap. Absolute legend. Someone saying in chat that there is a bit of audio issues. I do apologize about that. I think it's something to do with Wi-Fi, which is unusual because the Zoom is causing a bit of latency. But yeah, I do apologize about that, guys. Hopefully we can get it resolved in the next one. Again, with the relocations of Gianni and myself, things can get tricky, and I do apologize about that. But nonetheless,
let me know if it's me, mate, and if it is me, because I've not got the YouTube chat open because of my bandwidth. So let me know, and I'll move if I need to. But yeah,
I will do. On that note, let me look at my Game Week 32 team. Show you guys what we currently are playing with. To be honest, the team is very, very nice, I have to say. I'm sure a lot of people that have just wildcarded their team will be nice. But on goal, we've got Raya, we've got Munoz, Byrne and Saliba. 4 in the middle, Eze, Saka, Gordon, Palmer. 3 up top in Solanke, Marmoush and Isaac. Let me quickly change Sarr in. Apologies. But yeah, we've got 6 doublers for next game week, which is of course the most we can do for game week 32. And it looks quite strong as long as Anthony Gordon is back and fully fit. So it's a really strong bench, Gianni. I've got Ederson, Solanke, Diaz and Konsa. Of course, Konsa plays against Southampton. Diaz plays against Crystal Palace, Solanke with Wolves away, and Ederson with Crystal Palace at home. That's a really good bench boost, Gianni, don't you think?
it is. What does your bench boost 33 look like in comparison? Because I look at like Ederson's obviously a good bench boost option. Solanke can score any given week because we know what Spurs can do. Diaz came on and scored today. Did you say Lewis? No, sorry, you spoke about Ruben Diaz, didn't you? So you need a Man City clean sheet, I guess. Like, what are your hopes for a Man City clean sheet in 32? Like, it's at home to Crystal Palace. It's not a bad fixture for them, but Palace do. I guess that bench boost is successful if Man City keep a clean sheet, isn't it? With 2 Man City defenders on there, effectively.
Yeah, exactly. And then in game week 33 is a full stack of the Newcastle guys: Gordon with Villa, Byrne and Isaac, and a double game week for Ederson with Everton and Villa. And I'd be looking to move on Isaac to a Watkins potentially.
I was going to say one of those Newcastle players would probably be sold, wouldn't they? Although they do have Ipswich after that, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I feel like it is a close decision, Gianni.
Yeah, it's definitely. Where are you at the moment in terms of like percentage odds, bench boost 32 versus bench boost 33?
I think it really depends on Isaac, because I could also use the triple captain, which I have on game week 32 on Isaac. 2 home fixtures, United and Crystal Palace.
Mate, I feel like the best triple captain option is 32 for those that have still got it. I know we could get a double which involves like Marmoush in 36, for example. Like, let's assume Haaland's not available, but and the 33 options, yeah, there's a couple. But Isak in 32 with 2 home games, knowing Man United is one of them, and Man United really do give you chances. I mean, let's see how United look on Sunday against Man City. But I like Isak in 32 as an option. And remember, yes, Monday night, but then no midweek football. Like, this is a week where there's Champions League and there's all the European games. Newcastle benefit by not being in Europe this season, and therefore at the weekends, players like Isak are more fresh. They just are. They've had a full week on the training pitch, and you could argue Newcastle, alongside teams like Aston Villa and Chelsea, they're really playing for 5th. They really think they can get 5th, and 5th this season gets you Champions League football. We cannot forget that. Premier League and the coefficient have done so well that, unlike last season, it's top 5, not top 4. And Newcastle and Isak, of course, are hungry for that. I like Isak in a double and triple captain. I really do.
Yeah, to be honest, because we're planning around so many chips, I kind of just want to get rid of it at this point. I don't think there will be a better opportunity than maybe a Marmoush in 36 if it does happen, unless I want to use it on a Spurs asset. If I quickly go,
it might allow you to be a bit more flexible with your bench boost as well. Like, just checking you can hear me, mate.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to use triple captain in 32, the beauty of that is like, and this isn't just for you, this is for everyone on still got bench boost. It's unlikely the teams I'm seeing, your bench boost even 32 or 33, you might get one doubler out of the four or two max, but it's likely your 4-person bench boost, your 4-player bench boost is probably going to be the majority, if not all. For me, it'll be all single game weekers whenever I use it. Therefore, you could see a bench boost develop for you in 35 or 36 that's actually better than 33. So getting triple captain out of the way now and not blocking, say, 36 when you could triple captain and having that as a bench boost option could be really valuable for you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why there's a big decision to be made, because like they all kind of fall into place. I think I really like doing something different and maybe holding on to triple captain until 36. I'd love to use it on a Marmouche.
Yeah, I mean, one of the fixtures for City, if they double, is Southampton, isn't it?
Yeah, they got Southampton and Bournemouth, which is tasty, especially for a team like City.
Yeah, and by then, Bournemouth, you'd think probably nothing to play for. Like, drawing again, they needed to beat West Ham yesterday, really. Like, Bournemouth could get European football, like top 8, but it'll be a close call. By 36, they could be on the beach. Bournemouth is on the beach, and Bournemouth are a team that will always play. So against teams like Man City, that suits them. Like, they're not going to be deep and part the bus. So a double for City versus Bournemouth and Southampton is clearly golden. I still think I prefer Isak 32, but there isn't much in it. And again, could Haaland, it's very unlikely Haaland's going to be back for 36, I think, from what we've read. So you'd think Marmouche is nailed for 2 games, but then again, who knows by then? Pep might go and throw a curveball and play Foden as a number 9 in one of the games or something. You are trusting Pep for 2 starts with a player that's first choice, but not absolutely 100% nailed week to week. I mean, he's only missed, since he's been available, I think he's not started 1 Premier League game for Man City. So he's as close to nailed as you get in that Man City attack when your name's not Erling Haaland. But I don't know how I feel about triple captaining a player in a double game week from that City attack, which sees so much rotation.
Yeah, and just to put you on the spot, Gianni, the other potential double game weeks are Villa, Bournemouth, and Tottenham. Any players out of those teams that you'd be willing to show the armband on? Villa's double is Bournemouth and Tottenham.
Who would Solanke have? Who would Solanke have?
Solanke has Crystal Palace and Aston Villa.
No chance. No, I don't think so. It'd be Man City. I mean, I just can't see past Newcastle with 2 homes. Like, I listed all the reasons why Newcastle are good at the moment, right? It's the cup final success and flying high. It's chasing Champions League. They've got the swagger. I fancy, and it's the St James's Park effect. I fancy Newcastle to beat Man United at St James's Park. I think they'll probably beat Palace as well. So I really do like Isak. But if you want to be different, then of course 36 gives you options, and 33 will give you options too. I mean, what options have you got for triple captain in 33?
Potentially a Bukayo Saka, an Arabesheze, or even a Marmouche in 33, but I'd have to use the bench boost in 32 then.
Yeah, or bench boost in 36, or 35. Like, your bench boost is going to be 4. It's probably going to be 4 single game weekers, maybe 1 double game weeker if you go 33. I think you said, but knowing it's 4 single game weekers, we don't have to use bench boost in the doubles, do we? Like, that's what I'm trying to remember. I'm not using my bench boost in 32 or 3. It's going to be 4 single game weekers regardless. So why do we think we've got to use it in 32, 33 if it's for 4 single game weekers?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's a really good point. I haven't even looked at the bench for 35 or 36 yet. Again,
and you can grow to that. You can move towards that if you need to, you know? Because you've got time and you've got free transfers to line it up if you need to.
Yeah, because then at that point, like, why not just use it in 32, in 31 where it looks, or 32, yeah, sorry, where it looks really good. Ooh.
So where's your heart at after all of this then? At the moment, most likely scenario for you to bench boost and most likely scenario to triple captain. Oh, and again, just, I guess free hit is 34, right? That's pretty nailed.
Yeah, 34 free hit is going to happen, for sure, because just how my team is set up.
That's when I'm wildcard. I'm wildcard 34. Because again, my team can't cover 34 without one.
Yeah. I feel like I'd be almost silly not to try get the extra fixture with Ederson in Gameweek 33.
Yeah, fair.
But it's the fixtures. I feel like I almost have to play the fixtures with Slanky with Wolves, Diaz with Crystal Palace, and Consa with Southampton. I don't know if it's going to get much better than that. And if that double, like, it's City that I'll be relying on a clean sheet for. So, I mean, I don't think it really matters. It is definitely close, and I am leaning towards doing it in 32, to be honest, just to get it out of the way. So I can start shifting my team a bit better going forward and not have to worry about the bench.
Mate, I don't know how I feel about Konza though versus Southampton. If he starts versus PSG, you've seen what Southampton do with their centre backs, right? Yesterday, was it 2 new centre backs from Wednesday night or whenever they played? And PSG games are Wednesday, Tuesday. So if Konza is chosen in the Champions League and they play well, and you'd think he's going to play both PSG games, he ain't going to get Southampton as well, is he? Because it's Wednesday, Saturday, Tuesday. Like, he ain't playing all 3.
Yeah, that's a good point. And another good thing to note is that he's fairly injury prone, so I'd imagine they'd want to try wrap him in cotton. Yeah,
but he might not start. Let's see, because Pau Torres is available. I expect it will be Pau Torres and Konza, but Tyrone Mings is still is a big presence and a leader in the team, and they might want him for the Champions League. It could be. No, it's going to be Konza plus Pau Torres, I imagine. But let's see.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Gianni, do I have the bench right? I don't know if you can see my team.
No, but go on, read it out.
On the bench is Solanke, Diaz, and Konsa. Again, we spoke about the fixtures, but the 3 starting are Minoz, Byrne, who have the double game weeks, and Saliba, who has Brentford at home.
So what's your big decision there? It's Saliba versus someone, is it?
Saliba versus Konsa / Diaz, and Solanke versus Marmoush.
I'd start. Yeah, I don't think Konza's going to start. I mean, if he starts versus PSG, I don't expect him to start at 31. And then, mate, Marmoush is so dangerous, isn't he? I know he's your sort of FPL pick, Marmoush, and a home fixture for him. Like Marmoush owners got a little bit unlucky last week. Like he against Leicester. He created one. I was looking in the scout members area. He created something like 1.45, 1.5 xG against Leicester. He did get the goal and he got the 3 bonus, but on another day, like 1.45 xG for a player like Marmoush, you probably expect 2 returns. Yeah, you can't bench Marmoush, can you?
No, I don't think so. That's been the case a lot this season, though, Gianni. I've put the armband on the right player, just not come up with the amount of points where it mattered the most when the likes of a Salah blanks.
Did you? So yeah, me and you both captain Marmoush then versus Leicester, because we've not spoken since then.
Yeah, I did indeed. Yeah. Quite disappointed, to be honest. We did.
Yeah.
So, Gianni, of course we just seen the Cole Palmer bench, and I went with the decision to go with Cole Palmer and no Salah. Do you expect him to start this Ipswich at home?
The Thursday night game, he played 90, I think, or maybe came off with 5 minutes to go, but I think he probably just wasn't ready to play more than sort of 40 minutes today. So fully expect him to play versus Ipswich. Chelsea do have an important game on Thursday night as well. So he'll play the next 2, Palmer, and I'm sure he'll be available. But I think they were having to protect him a little bit for that Thursday night game in Europe, because I know it's only the Conference League, but Chelsea haven't been playing well in the Conference League. And in the group stages, Palmer wasn't even in the squad. He didn't feature because they wanted him available for the Prem. Now we're in the knockouts. Chelsea will go with a stronger looking team, and I expect Palmer to be part of that. But Ipswich is a great fixture for Cole Palmer. So yeah, absolutely he'll start in 32. And if you don't have double game week players, although you surely should have Palace and Newcastle players, but if you didn't and you wanted to captain a single game weeker, then Palmer versus Ipswich is great. But obviously it's captain Isak or Mateta if you own those 2. Are you tempted on anyone but Isak? Or,
no,
Eze is an option for you?
No, not with the away fixtures with City and Newcastle. I think it is only going to be Isak this week. I agree with what you said, though. Like, this is a really nice fixture for Palmer if he does start and get 90 minutes. I think if this was a single game week, he would be the captain that we'd all be going on. And again, with no Salah, it would have been an easy decision for me, but I think it's a no-brainer that it's going to be on Isak. I'm really hopeful on Anthony Gordon if he gets back in training and gets up to speed before that United game. I do think he could be a really nice differential going into this game week, and I wanted to save myself the transfer. That's why I done it early on Wildcard 31.
I'm really jealous of the Gordon pick. I think the Gordon pick's amazing for 32. Like, you probably get a cameo in 31 and get annoyed that you just get 10 minutes off the bench or whatever. But that's fine, because in 32 you'll be a step ahead, because no one's going to buy Gordon because they've already got their 3 Newcastle in place. And look, Murphy's obviously a good pick, but the ceiling is far higher with Gordon if you can afford him. So yeah, I fancy Newcastle to go big in the double. I fancy Palace to still score goals though. Like, how do you feel about Palace in the double? For those that have got 3 Palace and might even be considering Palace captaincy, whilst I don't expect them to win against Newcastle or Man City, both away games, Palace are a team that score goals. Like, when you look at their last few games, like, they always score. I'm trying to think when the last time they didn't score, and I'm going back to, oh wow, I'm at game week 20 and I'm 19 they scored. Yeah, game week 18 against Bournemouth was a 0-0 draw. I think that was the last time they didn't score, game week 18. Like, they're a reliable attack.
Yeah, no, they for sure are reliable, but I just think these are really tough games. Newcastle away is always going to be a tough game, and then you just never know with City, even though they've been poor. But having double Palace attack, I'm actually not too hopeful. I think if I had Mateta, I would be a bit more than Sarr, even though Sarr has clocked really good numbers in the last 5 fixtures. But still, it'd be silly not to go with the doublers. That's why they're there. The fixtures are just falling too good not to own them, to be honest. What do you make of the selections of Munoz, Eze and Sarr? Do you think it was silly or naive not to go with Mateta?
No, because you went with Eze and he just got you 9 points. Like, I think if you go without Mateta, you've got to double up on the midfield and therefore go Sarr and Eze. That you've got to cover that Mateta loss in a way. And there's a fair few that went Evan Nilsson and covered it, but you've got to have that double Palace attack elsewhere. So I think it's fine. Like, Mateta's good, but like, we're not talking about prime Erling Haaland here. He'll tick along and he'll get you good points. I do think when I rank the Palace assets, I had obviously Munoz at 1 for what you get and for value and position and blah, blah, blah. I did have Mateta as my second best Palace pick. And then, but is he a must have? No. So I think you're fine.
Yeah, I'm hoping I'll be fine as well. Gianni, okay, I'm currently at 180k rank. Where can I hope to be come game week 38 with those chips left?
Oh mate, I don't know, because I'm setting my own targets, right? And I'm at 400k. So I've got work to do at 400k, a lot of work. I want top 100. So I want to, let's say I want to get down to 75% of my rank, which is 400 to 100. So remind me of your rank. Let's say you're at 200. So top 50k should be a target.
That is my target, top 50k, and I think,
is it?
Yeah, considering how poorly things have went for me this season, I'm happy with my decisions. I think that would be a good finish to the season for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Top 50k would be amazing. Like, I think top 50k is like, knowing how many engaged managers there are, top 50k feels like the sort of the aim now. Like, obviously everyone says 10k and wants 10k, but realistically, from all the content creators you watch, there'll be a handful that get top 10k, but there won't be that many. Like, it will be like 25% of the content creators get top 10. It's really difficult now. Yeah, years gone by, it would be a way higher percent. So if you get 50k, mate, you've had a stormer. But I mean, that is still asking questions, because you've probably got to think between 50k and 100k, that will be really tight, and that'll be really good managers in that band. So probably getting into the top 150 or 200k is easier, but breaking that 100 mark might be the challenge.
Yeah, and that's where we'll have to do something a little bit different, whether that's down to bench boost, triple captain, I don't know. Hopefully we pull it out of the bag somewhere, Gianni. It'll be interesting to see where we both finish, though. Of course, last season, I know I always bring it up, and that's the reason I'm here, but amazing season last season. Hasn't quite went as well this season. Hopefully next season, Gianni, we'll be back and better than ever. I do genuinely think that I've played decently this season, and I've been just a small bit disappointed with how it went.
Yeah, man, I think you have. I think you've played really well. You've played your same way. There's no way you've played any different to the Chai I know from last season, where you obviously smashed it. that is how you play, and you stuck to your guns. And some seasons that will work better than others. Some seasons favour the risk taker a little bit more. And I'd say this season perhaps is a season where it hasn't favoured the risk taker. I feel like last season it did. Like last season I finished in the top 50k, and this season I'm at 400k. Like I've played the same way. And you and I are both the sort of the fairly high risk, call them what you want, but fairly maverick managers. And we're always on the hunt for differential, and maybe that stung us because maybe the more template, consistent, reliable picks this season have really smashed it. And I think they probably have. So yeah, but there's still so much football to play. Like because of the doubles, the blanks, the different chip strategies, the chips in play, still 8 game week. Like we've got a ton of football left. Like we can still change our seasons. So don't give up yet, anyone. There's still games to be had.
Yeah, I would agree. I was just about to bring us back to reality and say that there's still the end of the season to play, and I'm quite hopeful with the position I'm in, even though it's not too good. I definitely think top 50k is achievable though. I just think I need to get the captaincies right for the remainder of the season, whether that's the triple captaincy as well. But I think that's where I've gone quite poorly. I've went against captaincy a good few times this season, whether that's putting it on someone that's not named Salah or just not even owning Salah at points during the season. So if I can get that
that's
right,
what stung me, mate.
Yeah,
that's what stung me. Captaincy is we probably don't talk about captaincy enough because it really does. Every game week it determines your game week, right? And therefore it determines your season. And it's really cost me this year. I went without Salah in those weeks where I kept on to Haaland and he kept getting the XG around, I don't know, game week 6 to 12 or whenever it was. So not only was Salah being captained by everyone and outscoring Haaland, I didn't even own Salah. So those that were going against Salah were like, oh, it's fine. At least you own him. I didn't even own him. And that's where it really cost me. And you're similar. You bet against him a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And he's having the season of his life, achieving the most points he's ever done. So no surprise there. Gianni, we're just after hitting the 40-minute mark. Any last words you want to say before we wrap it up?
No, it's all good for me. I will see you in next Sunday. And to everyone watching, I'm sure they're watching the Manchester Derby now, but if you're listening on Catch Up or watching on Catch Up, then show your support for Fantasy Football Scout by hitting the like button. If you're not already checking out the Scout members area, it's a resource me and Chai use on a weekly basis. Check out Chai's channel on YouTube as well. He did an awesome deadline stream this week. And you'll probably be doing them way more than I will be. And I don't think Scout do deadline streams. So FPL Chai on YouTube, go subscribe. If you want to subscribe to my channel, it's just my name. It's not FPL Gianni. It's just Gianni. And yeah, thanks, mate. I look forward to chatting next Sunday.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. And as usual, everyone, do hit that like button for us and we will see you in the next.